Welcome to the next lesson in project delivery methods entitled Construction Contracts. In today's lesson, we're going to cover the different types of construction documents, including the drawings, the project manual, including the specifications, the different contract types, lump sum contracts, cost plus fee contracts, guaranteed maximum contracts, the GMP, unit price contracts, and then we're going to wrap it up with a real world scenario story about construction contracts. So welcome to lesson 2.1.5, and let's get started. In this lesson entitled Construction Documents, we are going to cover the different types of construction documents, the construction document drawings, the construction document project manual, which includes the project specifications, and then we'll get into contract types, including lump sum contracts, cost plus fee contracts, guaranteed maximum price contracts, sometimes referred to as GMP, and then we'll get into unit price contracts. And finally, we'll wrap up with a story about a contract scope bust and the fix to take care of the problem. So let's continue on. Let's start out by talking about the different types of contract and construction documents. First, the drawings. The drawings are the graphical set of directives, sometimes referred to as the plans, prepared by the architects and engineers in combination. They communicate different wishes of the owner, and they wind up on the drawings per the owner's instructions. They are the quantitative instructions for the builder. The project manual, sometimes referred to as the specs or specifications, is the qualitative instructions for the builder. And it contains all written construction document information, including references. It also includes the bidding requirements, the contracting requirements, and of course, as I mentioned, the specifications. It provides the qualitative or written instructions. So let's start out by talking a little bit more about the contract drawings. There are four basic drawing types used to communicate intent. They are the plans, and that includes elevations, sections, and details. So there are different perspectives on the drawings besides just the plan. Then let's talk about the contract documents. The project manual, or the specifications, typically has four primary sections: the bidding documents, the general conditions, the supplemental conditions for your specific project, and the technical specs, probably the most important part of the project manual. Now let's talk about contract types. Lump sum contracts, probably the most prevalent type of contract in the industry today. Also called a fixed price contract. The contractor provides specified work for a specific sum of money. Both parties try to fix conditions as precisely as possible. Once the contract is signed, both parties must live with the terms and conditions. And finally, the advantage is the owner knows before the work begins what the final cost will be, and usually just adds a contingency and inserts that into the budget. So that's a big plus for the owner, knowing what the costs are, at least approximately, if not specifically. Now let's talk about the cost plus fee contract, also called a reimbursable or time and materials contract. The contractor is reimbursed for work costs plus an agreed upon fee. It's important to spell out clearly in advance what those terms and conditions are and what costs will be reimbursed and which costs will be covered by the fee and are not reimbursable. It makes sense when the scope is difficult to define or it is important to fast track the project, but be very careful of cost plus a fee type contract because it's pretty much open-ended. The contractor can start without a clearly defined project scope since all costs are reimbursed plus a profit, and that's guaranteed. The type of contract also allows the contractor, the designer, and the owner to work collaboratively early in the design process. And finally, it's encouraging value engineering and good estimating and scheduling support.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this free lesson from the University of Maryland's Project Management Center for Excellence. If you want to check out more lessons just like this one, click the link in the description below where you'll be able to go to our website on executive project management. There, you can find edX courses, professional short courses where you can learn from an instructor like me, as well as request custom team training for you and your organization. All right, let's get back to the lesson and I'll see you at the end.
One other item that is definitely worth discussing is a contract type called Guaranteed Maximum Price Contracts, or GMP. It's a variation of the cost plus fee contract called Guaranteed Maximum Price, GMP contract. The contractor is reimbursed at cost plus an agreed upon fee up to the GMP, essentially a cap on the full amount. After this point, the contractor is responsible for any overage of any additional costs. The contract commonly includes an incentive clause, trying to get the contractor to bring the costs in under the GMP. Specifics are additional profit for bringing the project under the GMP. That is, usually there's a cost sharing between the owner and the contractor for bringing in the actual costs under the estimated guaranteed maximum price amount. And finally, it may allow for the shared savings, as I stated, but it may not. So that's something the contractor and the owner need to work out at the beginning of the job. Often it's a split between the owner and the contractor on the percent that goes to the owner and the percent that goes to the contractor. One other item worth discussing is unit price contracts. The owner and the contractor agree on a price. They are charged, the owner is charged for major project elements. The owner or the designer provides estimated quantities, and the contractors bid on the job by figuring unit price amounts and calculating a final price based on the quantity times the unit price. The contractor overhead profit and other project expenses are included. The owner compares the final price and selects the low bidder. And the advantage is that in many projects, it is difficult to accurately quantify work necessary, so using unit prices help. For example, if there's a contract and it's strictly excavation and it's earth and rock, you come up with an estimated quantity of rock and an estimated quantity of earth, and then the contractor submits unit prices. You do need to keep track of actual quantities excavated, and then a final price can be determined. One final item to talk about is called the story of drop your bags. This refers to a major billion-dollar military base contract that assumed two bases were being combined into one base, and there was an underestimation of the number of people coming to the job site. So the billion-dollar contract was underestimated in the number of facilities and spaces for the new employees. So what do you do if you don't have enough space and you've got too many tenants? It's not like adding water to the soup. get your bags packed, and it's called change management. So what was decided to be done was, rather than issue change orders to the existing contractor, paying a rather high price for the additional facilities, an additional contract was awarded to another general contractor for the additional scope space to handle the overage of personnel being merged onto the base to cover the extra work. So it was another lump sum contract added to the first contract, and there were, in effect, two different contractors and two different scopes of work. And it worked out very well, and it did not have to be done through the change order process. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on construction contracts, where we explored the different construction documents, plans, and specs, and especially the guaranteed maximum price contract, a new innovation that's been very popular and very valuable in construction management. Stand by for the next lesson on the construction manager's role during design management. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.
Hey there, did you enjoy that lesson as much as I did? If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see another one, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Moreover, is there somebody in your life who really needs this lesson right now? If so, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, where you can learn even more from the University of Maryland Project Management Center for Excellence. Thanks so much.